Om Jnana-timirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri-Gurave Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Welcome to our first session of the module, the Bhagavata Purana. This is going to be a whirlwind tour of the Bhagavatam, and before I say anything more, I think it's good to read the first verse of the Bhagavatam and the invocation. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadyasya Yaton Vayaditaratas Charte Shvavigyasvarat Tene Brahma Rida Ya Adikavaye Muhyanti Yatsuraya Tejovari Mridang Yata Vinimayo Yatra Trisargo Mrisha Dhamna Svena Sada Nirastaku Hakam Satyam Param Dimahi. And the translation of Srila Prabhupada. O my Lord Shri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Shri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes, of creation, sustenance, and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations, and he is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. It is he only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion, as one is bewildered by the illusory representations of water seen in fire or land seen on water. Only because of him do the material universes temporarily manifested by the reactions of the three modes of nature appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Shri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. This verse summarizes what the Srimad Bhagavatam, or Bhagavata Purana, is all about. One could say that the entire Bhagavatam is an elaboration on this verse, which we can also take as a kind of definition of the absolute truth. What is this module all about? First, I want to say what it is not. Some of you may be familiar with or have heard of the Bhaktivedanta course. Actually, the Bhaktivedanta course covers the first 6 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam, and then the Bhaktivedanta course covers the second 6 cantos. And both of these courses are very long-term courses, which are going through the entire Bhagavatam, verse by verse, chapter by chapter, including the reading and study and discussion of the purports of Srila Prabhupada. Well, obviously we are not doing this because we are discussing the Bhagavatam in altogether 10 sessions, 9 or 10 sessions, we'll see. And we are doing a few things in a different, you could say, register than in the Bhaktivedanta and Bhaktivedanta courses. This course is oriented as an academic course, and that means we are studying the Bhagavata Purana in a sense from a certain distance, I don't want to use the word objective distance because we understand there is no such thing as a kind of absolute neutral position. But we are going to be discussing in a somewhat analytical mode at times. We won't be overdoing that, I would say. In fact, what we're going to be doing to a large extent is overviewing the Srimad Bhagavatam. We will be highlighting specific verses. We'll be highlighting various themes. We have for this module a particular book, which is indeed an academic book, a collection of articles called The Bhagavata Purana, Sacred Text and Living Tradition. This contains 12 articles altogether written by scholars on particular themes, particular subjects. We'll be getting back to this, but some of the required reading, or most or all of the required reading, will be coming from this book, along with an encouragement, of course, to read the Bhagavatam itself. Some of us might ask this question: why study the Bhagavatam as an academic exercise? Well, that question can be taken as why study it at all, or why study it not as a devotional exercise. And I don't want to completely separate these two activities, but why study the Bhagavatam? Well, for one, the Bhagavatam is extremely prominent in India and also beyond India as a classic text. The Bhagavatam is extremely well known in India. It is popular in its presentation, if not always in its study. It is an inseparable part of Indian culture today. As a Purana, we can say that the Bhagavatam is a super excellent Purana. This is for several reasons, one being its coherence as a literary work. By that I mean in contrast to other Puranas, which tend to be sort of loose collections of a number of different things. The Bhagavatam also has a great variety of sorts of discussion, but everything is held together in a very tightly woven way. The Bhagavatam is also very well known for its high quality of Sanskrit poetry. Indeed, the Bhagavatam is famous for being a challenge for Sanskritists to understand and to translate, even to the point that certain words which are found in the Bhagavatam, Sanskrit words, are found nowhere else, so that when you look these words up in the Sanskrit dictionary, it gives as the example, or it gives as its reference, the Srimad Bhagavatam and no other. For the Vaishnavas, the Bhagavatam is unquestionably an important work because it promotes devotion to Vishnu and most especially and most dearly to Krishna. But it's not simply a work of devotion, it's also a work of philosophy, and it is a work which draws together a number of different traditions of philosophy, most especially Vedanta and Samkhya. And on top of all of this, what makes the Bhagavatam particularly special is that it has a very rich Sanskrit commentarial tradition. The addition of commentaries, Sanskrit commentaries that was used by Srila Prabhupada, published in Ahmedabad, has a total of some 25 different commentaries. Scholars have referred to many more commentaries than this. According to one source, there are some 80 different extant or existing commentaries in Sanskrit alone. That's not counting all the commentaries in Indian vernacular languages such as Hindi and Kannada, Bengali, and Tamil, and so on. So it's for these reasons the Bhagavatam is important, but also, as I mentioned, it in a sense permeates the culture of India, particularly what we call, for better or worse, Hindu culture. And this is seen in all sorts of arts, the performing arts, the graphic arts, and of course the architectural arts are very much drawing upon the Srimad Bhagavatam. We may get to discuss one particular building which is considered a kind of a temple in South India, which is considered a three-dimensional Srimad Bhagavatam. For followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Bhagavatam is no doubt a central text. It's the basis for all the Chaitanya Vaishnava theological understandings. It is, of course, the central text from which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu drew his inspiration. Indeed, his ecstatic moods were, for the most part, ignited by hearing verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam. And so it is from the very beginning of the Chaitanya tradition that the Bhagavatam is central. So a purpose, I would say, of studying, taking this module, even if one has been doing Bhakti Vaibhava course, even if one is very familiar with the Srimad Bhagavatam, has studied for many years, I would say that still one's appreciation of the Bhagavatam may very well be enriched. I would suggest we may find some insights which will be enriching for all of us. Here I want to invoke one scholar from University of Chicago, Paul Griffiths, who has written a book about what he calls religious reading, in which he contrasts religious reading with consumer reading. And what we can take from this is this idea that to read the Srimad Bhagavatam is not something we would do as one might an instruction manual or some novel or whatever. It is religious. It is to be read in a religious way, and that can mean several things, but for our purpose now, it means continuing to read and going on reading. Even after one has finished reading it, one reads again and again, and each time one reads, one finds more and more, deeper and deeper meaning, which one can appreciate and imbibe in one's own life.